First, the gun was dipped in water. Then, it was rubbed in sand. After that, most of the guns either jammed or their moving parts failed to function. But there was one gun that kept working without any problem. It was the world's most famous rifle, the AK-47. The man who created this gun was Mikhail. He used to operate tanks. But during a battle, his tank was blown up by enemy fire, and his arm was badly injured. On the way to the hospital, he noticed that the soldiers' guns weren't working properly. Their magazines would get damaged in water, and the springs would freeze in the cold. Such guns could cost lives. That's when the idea of building his own gun came to him. After recovering, he went to his old machine workshop and said he wanted to build a new gun. Since he had a good understanding of machines, he was given a small room. In just 3 days, he designed the first AK-47. His arm wasn't fully healed yet, so he took help from a few workers. Together, they worked hard and built the first AK-47. Then came the time to test it. One of the workers picked up the gun and fired at a drum. The bullet passed straight through. Then he kept firing again and again. Each shot hit the target perfectly. The power of the gun was proven. After that, Mikhail went to the army office to get approval for the gun. But as soon as the guards saw him with the weapon, they mistook him for a terrorist and detained him. Later, when an officer tried the gun himself, he was shocked. It was better than all the others. But there was a rule. The gun would only be approved if it won the annual shooting competition. The officer called a general. The general also fired the gun and was very impressed. He said Mikhail should represent the army in the competition. Mikhail was sent to the Moscow Arms Institute, where he was given a separate room. But during the very first test, his gun failed and was rejected. Disheartened, he began heading home. On the way, an officer stopped him and gave him another chance to design a machine gun. Mikhail took it seriously and worked hard to build a new one. This time, the test was successful, but still, his design wasn't selected. He was shattered. Then came the news. Germany had surrendered. The war was over. Everyone was happy. But Mikhail was sad. He thought his gun would never be needed now. He met with an officer and said he wanted to go home. The officer silently handed him a piece of paper. It said that making weapons was still important. So, Mikhail went back to work. He learned from his past mistakes and built a new gun. 2 years later, the new AK-47 was ready. When it was fired at a drum, every bullet hit the target straight on. He was thrilled. Just then, the guards arrived. He was arrested for testing without permission. But Mikhail was smiling because he believed in his work. He was taken before the general. The general was also a gun designer. Mikhail quickly disassembled the gun into its parts in just a few seconds. The general was stunned. He had never seen such a simple yet durable gun. He granted permission for Mikhail to enter the competition. Now, the real competition began. All the guns were first dipped in water and then rolled in sand. Most of the guns jammed. Finally, it was time for the AK-47. It fired non-stop. Not a single shot missed. Mikhail won, and the AK-47 began mass production. In 1941, when he saw soldiers standing in a parade, all carrying the gun he had built, his chest swelled with pride. Even though the AK-47 wasn't used in that war, today, more than half the countries in the world use it. It didn't just become the most used rifle, it also became the cause of the most deaths. But remember this, weapons are not evil.